Hello world, I'm Cecelia Sterling and I have a story to share. We're going back some years. It's summer. I think my daughter's probably 2 and I have a new lit fire in my belly to buy a home. This is a real estate journey. Big adventure filled with lots of stories, to be honest. And a little background, I had been borderline obsessed with buying a home for the previous, 6 years. Worked with several agents, worked with several mortgage companies or mortgage brokers, looked at lots of houses. There were several offers. There were some deposits paid, but nothing was the home that we were buying and residing within or even renting out to someone else. It just never was the full deal, literally. And so I see this listing and the house is absolutely adorable in a very charming community with like charming homes, which are my jam, in a part of town my husband does not want to live in. And it's at the higher end of what I believe we can afford that he believes we cannot. We'll call it the edge of our budget. And I have a new real estate agent to work with because she helped me make some interior design changes. She did both at my boutique, and I really loved working with her. I felt like we were an energetic match, which is my most important criteria for my real estate agent. She believed in dreams coming true and didn't necessarily need all the paperwork to support the position at the beginning, which I let people know if they want to work with me. This is not going to be like an obvious situation. There's going to be some divine mystery involved. And if you can't allow for that, we're not going to be able to work together. Okay. So we go and look at this house and it is absolutely adorable. And my daughter's like, oh my gosh, the refrigerator has an ice maker and a water spout. Let's buy it. And she's running around inside and outside, and it's little, but it has a yard. And we had been living in a very cool urban apartment close to downtown, close to Little Italy, close to my boutique, with no yard and a toddler. And I was maxed on the space. It no longer served my highest good. Even as I describe that, I remember the dreams, one in particular, that I had during that time about like literally growing outside of that physical space. My time there was complete. My husband's time there was extensive. I think he lived there for 30 years. Not a big proponent of change in his personal space. So to say I wanted to move us was a much bigger endeavor than even I understood. So we go look at this house. It's adorable. I want to make an offer. My husband doesn't. We talk through all the things. We do make an offer. And at this moment, houses are selling in 3 days. Things are going over asking. It's bananas. But one really important thing gets ironed out in this particular offer, as they do in most, which is why I tell people I'm a big proponent of take some steps in the direction. And if you're getting right green lights, keep going, because even if it's not the end result, even if it's not the home you buy, certain things might get ironed out in that process. The thing that got ironed out here was, this is major. We talked to the 100th mortgage broker that we've talked to in all the different deals that we've considered. And it's the first person that says, okay, let's take you off the loan and only have it in your husband's name. You can still both own the home, but we're not going to use you on the loan because of your debt to income ratio is not beneficial. Duh. Every different person you work with has different experiences, storylines, narratives, belief systems, and you're working with all of those when you're working with that person. And this particular person had done this particular thing before, which isn't totally uncommon, but literally no one has brought it up in the past. And it could be that our numbers didn't make sense for that in the past. I don't know. But at this moment, we get that sorted out for this time in our financial lives, right? Great. So our offer is not accepted. It's like the second best offer. So we're the runner up, right? I'm emotionally devastated because I just went from, I'm never going to get out of here, Tom, buy this really charming house, throw some parties on this little patio, to just kidding. No, I'm not. It was tough, emotionally very tough, but we got through it. And that sparked, again, like I said, the fire in my belly. And I start going to open houses and sharing listings with this new real estate agent, all the while saying, we're probably not going to buy anything, but what if? And she's like, yeah, what if? So we go to some different places. We make some other offers. And I literally helped raise the price of homes in an entire zip code, because I offered on every home that was within my price range. And I was always the highest offer, but then I wasn't getting my offer accepted. So they were going with someone else who was then having to match my offer. Never know the impact you're having in the economy, right? So 6 months in, I'm like, wow, I have single-handedly changed the property values of this whole zip code, because I ended up finding a zip code with plenty of houses that were good enough for us to offer on in an area that was okay for us to live in. We're not talking about ideals here. We are talking about this could work. We could make this work. This might work long term. This could work for a short period. And, we're at the max of our budget and buying something that feels like, I don't know, 30 to 40% of what we actually need. But that's okay. One step at a time, right? And it feels like a really good investment no matter what. But literally, homes are selling like hotcakes. So and I see an energy healer, and this is an important point. I see an energy healer around the time of seeing the first house, and I'm so excited that this might actually happen. And I'm going to manifest it, and I'm going to manifest it. And she says, you're going to birth this home. You're going to give birth to your new home. And I was like, okay, okay. I can do that. I gave birth to this miraculous child, right? She's a complete miracle. Maybe I'll give birth to this home. And I have lots of reasons why this would never work out based on past experience. And I am overriding to the nth degree and sitting in possibility and infinite possibility and probability. And I can have new experiences and things can work out better than I can imagine. And I mean, it is a full-time job to manage my emotional experience around our current home, taking care of a child, buying a home, and moving us. And so fast forward to, I'm pretty sure it's November, we put an offer in on a house. We have our new agent's inspector come. She loves him. And what I want in an inspector is like protective dad energy. I want him I want this person knowledgeable, and I want them to have protector provider energy. I don't care about their gender. I want them to say, if I care about all of your wellness, I recommend or don't recommend this home, and these are the reasons why. And this man looked at a house that we actually put an offer in that got accepted and had some real estate potential, as far as we could build an accessory unit on the back. There was this really cool eco water system happening. And it was a charming home in an area I absolutely did not want to live. And he came and he inspected and he said, we don't even need to talk about the report. You are not buying this home. And I'm concerned it's going to fall right over. So I'll just say that. And my husband is like, great, finally a house we don't have to buy. Everybody's on the same page, right? And now we love and feel safe with our inspector. Sorry, fast forward, that's probably October. November, This house comes up on Redfin, but it's coming soon. Charming photos, looks like the right square footage. Thank God it has white cabinets in the kitchen. Like, throw me a bone here. And let's see if it's falling down, right? It's got a yard. It's in an area that I'm okay with considering living. Because you don't really know till you get there anyway, right? So we contact them and they're like, great, we'll let you know once we list it. We'll schedule a showing. And then we find out they're not actually going to list it. Okay. Wasn't on the street I really wanted anyway. And then there's this house that comes up on the street. I'm now like, I literally want to live on this street within these 2 blocks. That's 2 blocks away from this certain park. And I think the homes will be at the top of our range, but still in our range. And that's where I want to live. And a house comes up that is on that street, on the block I want to live on. It's got 2 bathrooms, like score, hardwood floors, fireplace, outdoor space, big old tree. Are you kidding me? Chickens in the back. And we place our offer, and it's definitely holiday time, and I am definitely experiencing the holidays in this home with my sweet, sweet family. They're taking it off the market. She's having a baby, doesn't want to move in the midst of it all. Which, as a fellow mom, I completely support. I think that's probably the best choice for their family. And I am devastated. Are you kidding me? Okay. I'm allowing. Then this house comes back on as a coming soon. Just kidding, we're not selling. Again. And I'm like, what? The amount of times my real estate agent calls me with news of an offer, and I just burst into tears. And she says, I'm so sorry to make you feel this way. And I say, my feelings are not your responsibility, and I can handle this, and I will get through it, and something will work out. But this is so hard for me. And she would say, I know, and something is going to work out. Our energy was aligned, and our allowing of dreams coming true was aligned. Fast forward to probably February of that year, the next year, and all of this is during COVID. And again, houses are selling like hotcakes. So literally, all offers are over asking, and things are happening very quickly. And can you get your, $500,000 loan funded in 2 weeks? Bananas is a really good way to describe it. And, lots of all cash offers. So just the fact that you need a mortgage at all, it's like, I mean, again, the management of personal belief systems and personal narratives is a full-time job. And very easy for people to be like, if you're not full cash and you're not a Rockefeller, like, forget it. You know what I mean? And, we all have limiting beliefs around that in our everyday life anyway. But this was like not even internal beliefs. These were like external factors. So I know, though, that things happen in divine ways. And I'm hearing stories of people's homes. And every story is miraculous. None of them are obvious. I don't think I heard one obvious transactional real estate story during this time. Everyone's has this personal miraculous twist. And so we see the house. Okay, so February, coming soon comes up again, this same house. And I'm like, all right, let's call them again. And then it's like, oh, it's listed and we need to sell it tomorrow. The agent says, I was looking for your phone number. I know you were interested in the fall. You were so kind. Like, can we do a pre-showing with you before we actually list it? That's what it was. And my agent says, good news. Like, we get to be one of 2 early showings and before they fully list it. And then I'm like, okay, perhaps this is it. And we come and see it. And while it has a beautiful kitchen that I like, I don't love the house. And I am not putting in, I'll do over asking, but I'm not putting in my top number because I don't absolutely love it that much. I'm a little concerned with the bedroom situation and the square footage. But yes, it has a yard. Yes, it has hardwood floors. Yes, it has a good kitchen. But I'm not doing my highest number. So we put in our offer. So see, I'm not giving up on my power here, even though I am on some levels desperate. I'm not actually. And I think that's a really interesting point. They accept our offer. It doesn't even get listed publicly. They accept our offer on one term. We use their mortgage broker to fast track because she is now put an offer in on a house and she needs our offer is contingent, right? So this is like a double stack or something. What happens with us affects her, and what happens with her affects her, the seller. But found out later they were also in a buy-sell situation. So it's like a triple stack of everyone needing a lot of money to move around within not 30 days, 21 days. And sorry about my mortgage broker I have a relationship with, who was finally willing to work with us, even though our stuff is not obvious. I'm on the phone with this guy who's like, we're going to make this happen. Okay, great. And now it's not like I'm trying to get approved. Now I have people wanting to get the deal done. Energy has shifted. It's on my terms. Yes, we went over asking, but not too much. In fact, we went over asking, but they came back and said, we want it to be $20,000 over appraisal. We agree because I know now that number is going to be less than my offer. I just got a discount because I know what houses are appraising for because I've put in an offer on almost every house in the zip code. So you see, all of that work was research and development. Do you understand? So I am like, yep, no problem. I have complete confidence in what's going to happen next. The house is appraised for the number I assumed it would be appraised for. Our offer then comes down to $20,000 over that, which is, makes you nauseous to pay over what something's appraised for. But in a market where houses are selling in 3 days, I feel okay with that level of risk. And there's some wrinkles along the way, but ultimately I get the phone call from my agent. And I mean, there were a lot of wrinkles around the way. Literally like a full-time job for 3.5 weeks. And I'm not even wrinkles. There were miracles along the way. This is COVID. My husband has 2 pay stubs in a row. And then all of a sudden they're like, just kidding. We're going to have you stay home for 2 weeks and then come back. If this is 1 week earlier or 1 week later, that loan deal doesn't go through. Divine timing is to the minute on this deal. Culminating in a phone call. I'm standing at the park. My daughter's on the swings. I get the phone call from my agent and she says, Cecelia, the house is yours. And we have this tangible, realized experience of all the emotional and energetic investment in hope and dream and miracle that is like, I'm surprised there wasn't a level 8 earthquake, honestly. It was such a big experience. And I am so happy and proud. I worked hard on cultivating this opportunity, on bringing this deal to a close. And in some ways, I'm just getting started on actually moving our family, which is going to be a giant endeavor or mountain climb, I like to call it. But I did it. We did it. Even my husband agreed to something that he was scared to death of. We did it. And I hang up the phone and I get a phone call and I'm holding my phone, so I answer it. I rarely answer a call, to be honest. And it's someone I care deeply, deeply about. And she has cancer. And it's one of the happiest and saddest and proudest and scariest moments of my entire life. And wow, what capacity do we have as humans to hold such big experiences and the depth of emotion involved in them? And I push my daughter on the swing. And I continue to hope and pray and believe that miracles happen. We will live happily in this home. And she will survive this diagnosis and this experience, which she does. And we as a family do too. And that feels like part one of this story. So with that, I'll say ciao for now. I'm Cecelia Sterling, and these are the adventures of Superchic.